Hello, welcome to our very short video. There are some questions to answer at the end, so you're going to have to pay attention to it all the way through. We've had our best writers on it, so it's super short, super comprehensive, and the best thing of all is that you get yourself a wonderful certificate telling you at the end that you're compliant and we're compliant. So isn't that just marvellous? Okay, let's talk about discrimination. There are two types of discrimination. There is direct discrimination and indirect discrimination. And you've probably got a bit of an idea about what those two forms of discrimination are. So direct discrimination is fairly obvious. So that's really obvious rudeness towards somebody because you don't like the way they look, you don't like their particular religion, they're clearly represent a different religious group or particular attributes such as a disability, a skin colour, an accent, and so you treat that person with less than favourable, behaviour, and that's really clearly direct discrimination. So it's like making a racist joke or a sexist joke and expecting them to just put up with it. That's obviously discrimination and we don't tolerate it. Indirect discrimination. Now this is a little bit more subtle, but this is a way of excluding people who have particular lifestyle choices, like starting a meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning when you know somebody obviously can't get there till 9 o'clock because they've got 5 kids. So this is a circumstance where you know you're deliberately excluding somebody, but it's not so explicit as to be rude to them, or having every meeting when you know somebody has to leave work at 4, making sure that you always have that meeting at 5. That's that indirect discrimination I was talking about. So it's making sure somebody who is, a person of a particular group, making sure that you always exclude them, but it's not as obvious as just making a sexist joke or a rude remark. It's just a little bit more subtle than that, but you know it when you see it. It's illegal to discriminate against people either directly or indirectly on the basis of the following things: sex, age, gender, identity or sexual preferences, relationship status, pregnancy, breastfeeding, family responsibilities like parenting status, impairment, disability, religious belief or religious activity, political belief or activity, trade union activity, status as a legal sex worker. So it's quite a long list, and there'll be more of this available to you in written form, so we've just got to cover it off to you in verbal form. So that's quite a long list, and it's illegal to discriminate on that basis. People can discriminate consciously or unconsciously. In fact, a lot of our biases are unconscious. So let's talk about personal biases. The key is self-awareness, something that we have to reflect upon and think about all the time. Recognising your inner fears or inner biases is a life's work. Often if you haven't had experience of somebody with a disability or a different nationality, we've heard rhetoric, we've heard stories, we can become phobia-filled. I've never met somebody who's transgender, I've never met somebody who's wearing a hijab, I've never met somebody who's got skin that is very, very dark. These things can fill us with a bias which can lead us to be fearful and perhaps unconsciously have a bias. Gender bias is everywhere in business. It's also other biases can inform our personal worldview. So we have beliefs, we have myths, we have stereotypes. We have to be very conscious to think about those, where they come from, and realise that people are people. At Shiva, we are very upfront about the fact that we have no tolerance for any overt, public, purposeful, discriminatory language of any sort. So take some time to reflect on your thoughts and feelings and really have a thought about whether or not Shiva is the right fit for you. Because if we get a whiff of it, it's in your welcome email, it's the very first thing we talk about. Shiva won't be a happy place for you to be. We can't. We're a broad church and it doesn't sit with our values as a company.